So today it is my honor to introduce to a lot of you one of the gentlemen that we love to hear from who has a wealth of knowledge beyond his age here on earth. It is unreal. This gentleman, his background, he was a system engineer, spending a lot of his time in the air flying. And at the time, he was getting ready to have his first daughter. And he knew that he wanted to be there for her and not allow the system or other people raise his daughter. And through this business, he's been able to do just that. Every step of the way, he's been there for his daughter, continuing. And also with this business, it's allowed him to not only help his family, but he's been able to help people like me and everyone that he comes in touch with just by being who he is, which is 100% genuine. I love and respect this individual. He's like a brother to me. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself out of the way because I know he has a word for us today, as he always does. So without further ado, I want to bring up my brother, Mr. Julian Lewis. Are you there, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, before I get started, I just want to let all of you know how much I appreciate Mr. Jabri Clemens. We're like brothers, we're friends. We communicate on a regular basis outside of this platform. And sometimes it's just jokes that we send each other. A lot of times it has to do with business. It's mixed in, it's intertwined. And all I can tell you is this: as a human being, Mr. Jabri Clemens is special. They don't make a lot of them like Mr. Clemens. I hope all of you know that. And his success in business in ACN and outside of ACN have a lot to do with who he is as a human being, is because at the heart of everything he does, he loves to see people winning. He loves to see people having success, but most importantly, he enjoys life. And if you're around him, you'll see that. And so thank you so much, Mr. Clemens, for everything that you do for us as an organization, plugging in and being consistent on Destiny International. And if those of you that are new and don't know what that is, you need to go to YouTube to the channel Destiny International and take a look at all of the trainings that this platform has, and 100% of those trainings are uploaded and edited and made to look amazing by this gentleman, Mr. Jabri Clemens. So thank you from me, from all of us. And I know we wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope all of you are ready this morning. How many of you were on my training last week? Okay, by a show of hands, let me see those hands. All right. So if you weren't on, I highly recommend. There are 10 points that we covered last week that are extremely important. And I would highly recommend going back to that training and watching it. And I went over a lot of information. So even if you were on with me live, that might be something you want to do as well. Go back and take a re-listen so you can get all 10 of those points. But before I get into the training this morning, I just want to say, I can't believe we're at the end of March. Can all of you believe that? And do me a favor, for some of you that are really gullible, April 1st is coming up on Saturday. It's April Fool's Day. Don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again, okay? But before I get into the information, just to give you a brief background, Jabri did a great job summing up my background. So I got involved with this industry because I was working way too many hours at my job. I was looking for something that would allow time freedom into my life. And the reason I was doing that is because my fiance at the time and myself, we found out we were going to have a baby girl. And I realized that if I didn't change something in my work schedule, my daughter was going to grow up not knowing her father. And that was a huge problem that I needed to find a solution for. That solution came by way of ACN. I was able to join this company and work a business around a schedule of working 80 to 90 hours a week at my job. I was taking 50 to 60 flights a year, but the support system allowed someone as busy as me to build this consistently. And what happened was, in about 6 months of building this part-time, it enabled me to look at both of my incomes, mine from ACN and mine from my job, and make a decision to walk away from my job and go full-time in ACN. That decision allowed me to be home with my daughter. I've been home now her entire life, and I truly owe it all to the training, the support, and the system we have here in ACN. But there's something else that ACN provided me with that I didn't know I didn't know that I needed. I didn't know that I don't even think I was ready for it. But when I started to realize how good it was, how amazing it was, I jumped all in. And that's what I want to talk about this morning. So if you're taking notes this morning, you can put at the top of your notes personal development. If you see the shirt that I have here right now, it says mental health is health. And I truly believe that is the case. And I want to show you why it's so important, why personal development is important. In my opinion, personal development is the thing that allows you to be the tide that rises all boats in your life. See, when I joined ACN, the president of the company, president and co-founder, Mr. Greg Provenzano, said, if we focus on building the people, we build the company. And I want you to understand this because it's something that maybe you haven't really thought of. But I remember thinking about these things when I was brand new in the business. And I want you to really think about what I'm going to ask you. What part of ACN is really difficult? And I really want you to think about this. And I'm going to go through some of the parts so you can answer this. And I'd love for you to participate and answer in the chat so that we can interact this morning. But I want you to think about what part is asking someone for their opinion. Is that difficult or is that simple? If you could put in the chat, I'd love to know. Asking someone, hey, I'm doing something. Could I get your opinion on that? Is that difficult or is that simple? It's simple. Okay, it's simple. Let me ask you another question. Opening up your cell phone, going to your contacts, and writing down on a piece of paper every single contact, is that difficult or simple? I'm assuming, and I want everyone who can actually write to answer this. So is that difficult or simple? And that was like a joke you'll get later because you wouldn't be able to write simple or difficult if you couldn't write. So if some of you still didn't get that, it's okay. So it's simple. Everyone's saying it's simple. Let me ask you another question. Going into your social media accounts and messaging people that you know, that you're associated with, saying, I'm really excited about something. I need to share with you something. I need your opinion. When do you have 2 minutes to talk? Is that difficult or is that simple? Okay, it's so simple that if you copy and paste too many times, too fast, you'll wind up being in Facebook jail. Some of you haven't done the business enough to even know what that is. So, okay, what else? After a presentation, asking someone based on what you see here, do you lean towards category 1, 2, or 3? Is that difficult to ask or is that simple? Asking someone if they can do you a huge favor, the physical part of it, not mental stuff, the physical part of it. Asking, can you do me a huge favor, help me out and give my service a try? Saying those words, can you help me out, do me a huge favor, and give my service a try? Is that a lot of words? Is that hard or is that simple? Okay. Saying this, based on what you see, do you see yourself more as a customer saving money or as a business owner making money? Is that hard or simple? Okay. Can we agree that 99% of the people that are participating in the chat, I've asked several questions And the majority of the answers are, you can put in the chat, what's the majority of the answers? Simple. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. Then why do I hear even leaders say ACN isn't easy? It's simple. It's simple. But what's complicated? What's complicated? You. You're complicated. Yeah, we. You. We. Yes, you're complicated. You're complicated. So why are you complicated? Does anyone know why you're complicated? Has anyone ever asked this question? Why? No, I know, I get it between your ears. Why are you complicated? Well, we all have emotions, even people that are winning. So that's not it. Some of us could overthink, but why? Why are you complicated? No, yeah, you overthink the process. That's true, but why? See, you're still not, no one's giving me an answer. Why are we, yeah, you don't listen, but why? Why are we overcomplicated? Not confident? Why though? But why are you afraid? It's not because you're a Virgo, girl. I appreciate that though. But I will say this. Why do you think it's because you're a Virgo? Get deeper. Why are you scared, Jackie Lynn? Why are you scared of judgment from others, Catherine Williams? Why? Go deeper. Why do you have limited beliefs, James Clark? See, I don't think, why do you have this programming? You've done new things before, Jackie Black. Everything that you hadn't done since you were born was new. Why is this blocking you? Lack of personal development. Why? Conditioning. I don't think it's a lack of personal development though. I'm gonna share with you why though. I think we need it, but I think it's because of something. You don't believe. Why? But Rick, why are you afraid of success? See, I'm getting these answers. What I'm trying to do right now is to get a lot of you to do something that you probably never do. Dig deeper. Why? We don't know the greatness. Why don't you know the greatness? I'm going to keep doing this until someone gets to the bottom of this. Because I'm asking you, because remember what I asked you in the beginning. I asked you all the things. So everyone in here agreed that all the things that we do in ACN are simple. How many of us can agree that our jobs are more complicated than all the things I asked you? You do that, but this is hard. No, it's simple. Here's the problem. And I'm gonna be really, really candid with you this morning. And I hope this really helps somebody. The problem is that we live in a world, it's not for whatever reason, there are reasons. And James, this is gonna help you too, brother. We live in a world where when we are born into this world, ACN, if you were to ask a child to do ACN, they do it. James, you were in a room with me when Mr. Jeff Street came out to San Diego. And this was a gazillion years ago in ACN. And Mr. Jeff Street, he did a training for us, ladies and gentlemen. And he said, if I were to tell a child, hey, there's 200 people in this room. And under one of these seats that they're all sitting in, under one of these seats, there's a ticket for a free Xbox. Back then this is how old it was, the Xbox 360. There's a ticket for one of those. And you whisper into the kid, hey, if you can find the ticket the Xbox is yours. What would a kid do? How fast would he be under the every single one of those seats? Can we agree he would be like, do you have the 360? 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 Would he wait on a person to check again if it was a no? No. They say no, he's on to the next one. An adult, how do adults operate? If someone were to tell them that, first of all, because all the hurt in their life, they'd say, I don't know if I can believe this person. Maybe they're trying to make me look like a fool. Then they would say, finally, when they were convinced, Jackie, think about it. Fear of what though? Doubt of what? Finally, when they're convinced themselves, they would go reluctantly to the first chair. In their mind saying it's probably not even under here. They look and they say, I knew it. It's not under there. I knew it. I knew it wasn't going to be under there. They go to the next chair. Man, I'm making a fool of myself. They look at the person. You don't have a ticket for the Xbox 360, do you? And the person says no. And they say, I knew it. Before they even get to the end of the first row, they've made things so difficult within their imagination that they've quit. So it's not that the lack of personal development is the problem, because a child doesn't have personal development. It's the fact that you've gotten beat up by your experiences in life without a method of processing it, that you've gotten to the position that you are right now. You've been given beliefs. I saw Casey Carter said conditioned. You've been given beliefs without your consent. These beliefs were given to you by your parents, by your authorities, by people that are people and are flawed just like you, and you've accepted the majority of them, and you don't even know that you're walking around parroting beliefs that you claim to be your own, that were given to you by other people. You know, my daughter reminded me over the weekend, we were all at my mom's house and we had a good time. We do this thing. My mom, she went to, she got her master's in counseling. My brother loves psychology. My other business is dealing and relating in that field. And my daughter, she's looking at wanting to major in psychology in when she in college. And she freaked my mom out. She told my mom over the weekend that she got into UCLA, and my mom is like, what are you talking about? I thought my mom was going, and she was so excited. And we do this thing where we put something on the TV, and then we all talk about the psychology of it. And it's just something that we do, and we crack up while we're doing it. We laugh a lot. But we did that with the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which it's just called Bel Air. I don't know if you've seen that on Peacock, but we were doing that, and we were talking. We were talking about the show, and we were talking about psychology. And you know, my daughter, she said something that was pretty brilliant. She said, he doesn't even know that he's operating with beliefs that are not his own. And a lot of us are doing that. And so I'm asking you to start to get inquisitive on what you're operating with. Because fear, you have to ask yourself, because everyone spits out these questions, but they never ask themselves why. Why am I really afraid? And sometimes maybe you need a guide. Maybe you need therapy. Therapy isn't bad. You need somebody. You need a group. That's therapeutic. Whatever you need to dig deep enough to get to the part where you can reset and start living childlike again. It's ironic to me. It's very interesting how all of the great spiritual teachers on this planet, they all speak about being childlike. Even the greatest minds like Einstein, he speaks about being childlike. That's why he was able to, in his imagination, think of all these things that an adult would never think about because no one else has ever said these things. Do you see what I'm saying? You want to ask yourself these questions so that you can get back to a point of being childlike, because here's the truth. The truth is what you shared with me at the beginning of this call. It is simple. But we are complicated because we haven't sorted through the crap that was given to us and the crap that we've accepted and the stuff that we've done to ourselves. We're holding on to narratives that don't serve us. Your mom always called you a failure, so you still believe that. Why? Your ex-husband always belittled you so that you think small. Why? It's not true. So why do you hold on to something negative that's imaginary and make that your reality? Why not hold on to something positive that's imaginary and make that your reality? See, because it's all imagined. Does anyone know what the truth is? So what kind of cup is this? Tell me the truth. Put it in the chat. What kind of cup is this? It's plastic. Okay. Red. King wants to say hi, guys. Come here. You want to say hi? So it's red. A cup to hold hot. Starbucks coffee cup. Okay. What if I had water in here? Would it still be a coffee cup? I drank from it. Christmas cup. Yeah, that's good. All right. Can we agree everyone had all of these examples and there were like a million different answers? Well, here's the funny thing. We can all look at this and all look at one thing and know exactly what it is. And then when it comes to describing it, that's our interpretation of the thing. Okay. So I'm going to help you out with something. We do that with events. All we can do as human beings is point to the truth. The moment we start to describe it, that's not the truth. That's our interpretation of the truth. That's pointing to the truth. The best we can get at is pointing to the truth. And so you're probably thinking, where the heck are you going right now? Okay, let me help you out. The things in your life that have already happened, that are in the past, that you won't let yourself free of, it's not the event that's holding you back. It's the story that you tell yourself about the event. See, the event is the truth. The story you tell yourself is an opinion. And if you have the courage to change the story, then the feeling behind the story on the event changes with it. And it allows you to move in a different direction. So you can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction right now. You can decide to move in a different direction right now. But if you don't ever reflect, if you don't ever ask questions, if you don't ever dig deeper, every single one of the answers that I heard, 99% of them, because they were moving fast on here, 99% of them were surface level answers. And I want you to think about this. What good is success if you don't even know why you're going in the direction you're going? You gotta take a step back. You know, I ran into a lot of people over the weekend in Fort Worth. Some of you forgot about my ask. I said, if you see me, do what? Give me a hug. Especially some of the dudes, they're like, hi, Mr. And I'm like, what's up, man? I said, give me a hug, bro. What's going on? Yeah, we're gonna get uncomfortable today. Give me one of those good hugs. I had so much fun. Some of you had seen me and met me at events. I had not missed one international training in a decade. Not one until COVID. And Jabri will tell you, everyone, I'm telling you, a lot of people, my good friends, Megan and Ryan Williams, uh, my good friend, James Adlam, a lot of uh, Lakeisha Coles, a lot of the friends that I've made being in top production on a consistent basis reached out. Man, you're different. You're like, there's a different light about you. What is that? I was able to ask myself a lot of these questions during the pandemic. And you know what I got free from? All of the guilt, all of the weirdness, all of the fear, most of it, not all of it, because I'm still human, but I'm having fun in life because every moment, every day that we wake up is a day that we didn't pass away. You know, let me ask you a question. If I were to give you 10 million, you know what, forget that. 10 million isn't even the same as what it used to be. Can we agree? It's like 17-year-olds on TikTok becoming millionaires, right? So let me do this. Let's say $2 billion. If I were to able to gift you $2 billion, and listen, don't overthink this. Some of you are overthinkers and you want to get philosophical and say, well, you know, I didn't make it. It'll mess me up. No, this is none of that. Just if I were to gift you $2 billion, who believes they would be excited? And just be honest. Be very excited. All right. Can we agree this would be life-changing? $2 billion would be life-changing. What if I told you this? I'll give you $2 billion today, but you will not be able to wake up tomorrow. Who would still, tell me if you would still in the chat, if you would still take the $2 billion. Who would not take the $2 billion now? Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that the day is more valuable than $2 billion? I need that to sink in. Then why do you wake up on Monday saying, I hate Mondays? Then why do you wake up during the week irritated that you gotta wake up early? When you just said that you would take the waking up over the 2 billion. Well, if that's the case, why don't you act every morning you wake up like you've been given $2 billion? See, this comes from asking yourself questions. And so I want all of us to get in the habit of personal development, not for consumption's sake. Don't become the person that goes to college to get 12 degrees just to go get a 13th degree because you're never going to apply it. Some of you are laughing, but people do that with personal development too. They know all the personal development, but it's like, hey, let's go out and do something, step out of our comfort zone. No, I'm not doing that in person. I know how to do it, but that's scary. I'm gonna stay right here. Check this out. I'm gonna play two quick things. One is of one of my favorites, Simon Sinek. He talks about reflection and what it does when you can ask yourself these questions. Because I promise you, if you're by the answers that I was seeing on this chat, a lot of you aren't asking yourself these deep questions. And then the other one is a challenge. You guys like a challenge? I know some of you are part of the 7-day challenge. You're getting uncomfortable. So I'm going to give you a challenge of my own, all right? It's not actually mine, but I'm going to claim it as my own for this particular platform. Is that cool? All right, let me go ahead and bring this up. Give me 1 second.
To say to oneself, you were good in that situation, you weren't good in that situation, you could have been better in that situation. Not to be overly critical, meaning you're always at fault if something goes badly, or not to be so filled with hubris that you think everything you did was fine and it's always the other person, but be able to sort of separate yourself, to look at the situation from as if you were the third party, evaluating it. You know, when they do sales training, there's, you know, it's always three people. One who pretends to be the salesman, one who pretends to be the customer, and one who observes. And then they all take turns, you know, and the one who does the learning is the observer. So the question is, can you be your own observer? Like, can you replay a situation? And so self-reflection has been huge for me, and I've been huge into it for many, many, many years. The ability to say, okay, I can take some responsibility for the outcome of that, good or bad, yeah, and I can learn to do that again, or I can learn to spot those situations and avoid them in the future.
The reason why I wanted to share that is because a lot of people don't take responsibility. They get angry. It's like, I'm doing everything right, but nothing's happening the way I want. You told me if I follow the system, this would happen, and I'm not seeing it yet. And people don't realize that how you're showing up is affecting what you're doing. And so I'm saying this is so important. If you love to play basketball, fellas, who in here played basketball like crazy when you were coming up? I knew it. Mr. Darrell Ranson, I knew it. I knew you were going to raise. I had a feeling. How many of you were good when you were younger? Even if you thought you were good and you weren't, it's okay. Raise your hand. All right, check this out. You were in shape, you were good. How many of you remember how good you were, stopped being in shape, and decided, I'm gonna get back on the court, I was good, and the good went away? How many of you ever had that happen? You're like, I'm out of breath. This isn't fun. Why did I think this was fun? I feel like my lungs gonna collapse. You're always bent over on your knees. You seem to not be able to take in enough oxygen. The shots aren't going in. You're not jumping high enough. You try to dunk and you hit the ball on the rim, almost broke your arm. Does anyone relate to what I'm talking about right now? Can we agree you're almost playing a great game that should be fun, but you're playing it at a handicap? What is your handicap? You're not in shape. You're not in shape. How many of us can agree that a game like basketball that should be fun is misery when you're not in shape? It's terrible. Like you start to question, did I really like this when I was a kid? Like what's going on right now? What is going on? It's because you're not healthy. Can we agree? Well, I'm gonna drop a bomb on a lot of you. Some of you are not having fun at playing the ACN game because you are not mentally healthy. Get back into conditioning. Get back into being mentally healthy. Because this game is fun. They're talking to people and being silly. I know that Tony Coopers does it. I do it too. It's weird. I'll see someone, man, I like your shoes. Start having a conversation, enjoying that time. Hey, we should connect. A lot of things you said we have in common. Let's connect. Here's my info. And then, you know what I do? I just get them on my social media because people are nosy. And they're like, let me see what this person that I like is about. Wow, they say some deep. Wait a minute, I like this person. They start liking all your stuff. This is easy. It's simple. But it's like playing basketball when you're out of shape. If you don't get this right up here and this right here, it's miserable playing the ACN game. So what I'm challenging you to do is get some mental gymnastics going. Get your mind right is what we call it. And so I'm going to let you hear this open challenge.
I challenge anybody to do the following. Take 4 subjects: sales, negotiation, human nature, and money. 4 topics. Read every book on negotiation, above 400 reviews on Amazon, that's 4+ star. Read any book that's above 4 star, 25 of them, 400 reviews on sales. Read any book on human nature, psychology, persuasion, any of that stuff. Then read any book on money with 400+ reviews. Read Principles, things like that by Dalio, by Buffett. And for 2 years, obsess over doing that. For 2 years. You do it, you come back to me, nothing changed, I'll fund the whole cost that you had here. A matter of fact, you won't even come back to me because you forgot about it because you're killing the marketplace. The market rewards people who outwork and out-improve.
I want you to go ahead and play that over and over again. Just play it and then go out and do it. And stop being lazy with it. Listen, when I realized I can get good at acquiring customers. I can get good at building a team. I can get good at casting vision. I can get good at speaking on stage. I can get good at networking. I can get good at peaking and prospecting. I can get good at all these things. But you know what that is? That's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Or I can get good at me. And then all these things become easy because all those things become fun because I got better at being a better human. I perceive these things differently. I have a different perspective on doing these things because I became better. I don't look at things as hard. I don't look at things as a challenge or a benefit. I look at challenges and blessings being the underbelly of challenges. See, these are things that deal with a philosophy. You can try to do all the things and it's going to be overwhelming. But when you change the philosophy, you change the way you look at all the things, and it becomes what every single one of you said that it was and was the truth at the beginning. Simple. So with that being said, Jabri, I'm done for today. I hope all of you had some fun with me and got some value. I'm excited for you to challenge yourself to become better over the 2 years. Obsess because you're worth it. Obsess because your children and your grandchildren are worth it. Obsess because your nieces and nephews need to see an example of excellence and greatness. And if not you, then who? Thanks a lot. Over to you, sir.